Jury selection begins today in the trial of the soldier accused of killing his grandparents in Chester County. In 2021, Queen City News told you about the arrest of Gene Scott. He was on deployment in Germany when he was arrested. The Chester County Sheriff believes he joined the Army to hide after his grandparents were killed.
We do want to bring in Queen City News Chief Legal Analyst Khalif Rhodes. Khalif, the sheriff said they believed that this was a crime of greed.
Money.
What can we expect, and how will solicitors paint that picture?
I mean, that's what you have to be able to paint. I mean, this happened in 2020. They figured out, okay, 2021, he's in Germany. Everything, all the evidence is pointing to him. And so then they go over there and arrest him. So, A, he wasn't hard to find. But now you have to try to figure out, well, why do you do this? And so you're looking at bank records, not to point to the Trump case, but it's a record state. Most of the time, when I get discovery, that's the evidence that the state has. They'll have the bank records. They'll
like
have
how
their
much
phone
money
records.
was in his account.
Right. They'll say, well, even transfers.
Or bills.
So if they had, the parents may have had, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars or some retirement fund that was there, and then it instantly gets cleared out, and then he joins the military. And so what they'll do is they'll paint the timeline. And so you'll bring a bank expert. You'll bring someone that can show you this money was withdrawn. You can bring the detective that can show, listen, I found receipts. I found different transactions. I found large amounts of money, or maybe a safe. I mean, you wouldn't know until you get the opportunity to look at discovery or sit on this case to be able to hear all of the facts. But what I can tell you is it's easy to point to greed because most of the time that is the motive. Even though motive isn't something that you need to prove a case in real life. In TV, yeah, you need that. I need to figure out what the motive is. But normally you just need to know, well, what was their intent? And in homicide, you really don't need to know what their intent is unless it's something like first-degree murder, like I intentionally went there to kill you. And so what prosecutors will be, the solicitors in South Carolina will be attempting to do is paint a picture that he had every intention of taking these funds from them and killing them and getting away with it.
If you're defending Gene Scott, how do you blow up the prosecution?
I would say a number of things. First of all, do you have any physical evidence? Do you have physical evidence that points to my client? Is there a murder weapon? Is there a smoking gun per se? Is there a knife? Or is there something that's with physical evidence that points to my client doing this? And I mean, oftentimes a person is convicted without physical evidence. But in the eyes of a jury, that's what they want to see. They want to say, I want to see the gun. I want to see the knife. Not I want you to paint this mysterious picture that paints everything for me. Oftentimes they want to be able to focus in on one thing. And so I can try to discredit that by showing, listen, they've shown you 18 different things, but none of the things pointed to my client. None of them pointed to him because guess what? He was in Germany, or he was getting ready to go to Germany. Everything but being in some place committing this type of crime. And so I'm trying to paint a picture of a person that had means. If you're saying this was finances, I'm pointing to a job where he's getting a paycheck every week. I'm pointing to bank accounts that don't show large disbursements deposited into his account. I mean, those are the things where I'm painting a picture of a person that loved his grandparents. And that's what you got to do, because you got to be able to show that there's a human side to this person. Because when you're looking at a homicide case, people try to make the person a villain. And that's what the prosecutor will do. So you'll have this back and forth between the prosecutor and the defense, and then it's up for the jury to decide, well, who you believe.